space station.
That is like ISS.
ISS जैसा स्टेशन अपना ही भारतीय अंतरिक्ष स्टेशन, उसको 2035 का टारगेट है और 2040 तक चंद्रमा पे उतर के वापस आने का वो प्लान। तो ये सब स्टेप बाय स्टेप जा रहे हैं। आज उसी के जरिए मीन्स उसी के संदर्भ में एक कमीशन का मीटिंग था, कुछ आगे जाने के लिए अप्रूवल्स वगैरह।
तो जो नील आर्मस्ट्रांग का आता है, तो वी बिलीव इट दैट दे वेंट टू द मून एंड ऑल।
नहीं, उसमें तो कोई शक नहीं है।
हाँ, so they reached so much earlier, but my question was that after some mission they stopped the moon mission.
क्यों?
What happened?
नहीं, इसमें आपको
Since many years they have not
understood.
visited moon.
See, if you want to understand this, really you have to appreciate what were the circumstances which were existing. At the end of World War II,
Cold War.
Cold War, America and Russia
Really
are
hard.
trying to dominate,
Yes.
demonstrate who is more powerful.
Yes.
So they got into, anyway, as a result of World War, all these missiles, etc., what were done, that research went further. Russia went ahead with their first object which went around the Earth, Sputnik. 1950,
yes.
Sputnik 1957 में।
Yes.
So पहला स्पुटनिक उनका हुआ,
Yes.
फिर पहला डॉग को जब ले गए वो रशियन का हुआ, और पहला मानव यूरी गगारिन उसका रशिया का हो गया, फिर पहला वुमन वैलेंटिना टेरेस्को हुआ, वो भी रशिया का हुआ। तो अमेरिका कैसे ऐसा हो सकता है? They are trying to compete.
Because of competition.
Competition is there, and these people are demonstrating. World is seeing they are moving ahead. Now, then what America decided? No matter what happens, we should do something beyond that.
Yes.
उस समय they spend money like mad, because the only thing that is required is we should do outperform what Russia has done. With that kind of a thing, they are not worried about what happens to people, safety of life, all that. Anyway, they're all, it's like a war. In war, are you worrying about how many soldiers die, etc.? You are fighting. So this was also an event like that. That's why so many things which were not known to the public all happened, but ultimately they went ahead and then demonstrated. So then what happens? It's a democratic country. First time showing, everybody appreciate. Then you have to get approvals for the project to continue. Then as it was moving, some failures also occurred. A lot of other failures were actually probably not known to the public. That is one part.
Yes.
But then people started asking, is it efficient? Is it is it worthy of doing? Then beyond some point, they could not actually in a way justify spending that kind of money for this activity. So then they had to bring it down. And then another thing also what happened, moon did not, at that time the belief was moon is bone dry, no water. अगर पानी नहीं है उधर तो आने वाले काम के लिए तकलीफ है. So that was also a deterrent. But then when 2008 Chandrayaan 1 with all its thing, it showed that there is a possibility of water there. The whole interest got revived. Now again you are seeing a lot of people, both nations as well as private companies, trying to get into this activity.
Why this interest for water?
See,
Water equal to life.
yeah, not only that, now you see, for example, again, if you look at human existence on Earth itself, if you see, you are exploring. You could walk few kilometers an hour.
Right.
Then, if you want to cover longer and longer distances, what you did, you found some animals around you moving faster than you. You domesticated riding them. Then, when you were going far and far, you had to feed them. So, intermediate places you have to feed. So, now if you want to go beyond moon, if you have to carry everything from Earth, see, our ability to carry material is very limited.
Right.
So if you have to carry every hydrogen and oxygen, so we can do our cryo engines. That means we don't have to carry it from here. And even for people, using water, you can do a lot of things. Habitation which you are setting up there becomes this thing. So that's why water is important. And moon is important because it is the closest.
Ah.
So See, once you go on, it's like an intermediate point, stopover.
So
So
the
yes,
intermediate is so near.
even if
Compared
it
to the
is,
scales, it is like nothing.
yeah, but then
Just cross.
see, first when you are doing highway, now you start thinking again what humans.
It is too far, so I am willing to do expedition of moon.
Yeah, they are also.
So they
See,
are also pursuing
no,
moon
no,
actually
actually,
now.
if you look at Musk, he is a private entrepreneur.
Private enterprise.
But then, based on his ability, he is looking at what can be done. So now today, the ability of technology to take you to Mars requires about 9 months of travel.
Yes, yes.
So if you have to go for 9 months, come back for 9 months, almost 2 years is gone. So now to sustain life for 2 years, what all is
That's a
required?
big challenge.
Those are the challenges. Whereas moon is one day you can go. So now if moon you set up your habitation, then you can take people there. And not only that, now you see another problem once you go to space, what happens? There is no gravity.
Right.
This body is used to living on 1G condition.
Yes.
Now when you are going into space station, already a whole lot of changes occur. If you take moon, it is 16G. At least some G is
something
there.
is there.
So now they are trying to do research to find out how much of G this can adapt and survive
Oh.
without providing artificial G. That's why in space station and future things, many of these science fiction, you have this rotating platform where they are trying to create an artificial G so that the human body feels as though G exists. Otherwise, the way this body has evolved will not be easy to survive.
Correct.
So that's why that whatever deficiency comes,
Yeah,
atrophy,
yeah,
muscular
yeah.
atrophy,
Sorted.
bone getting this thing. All this is apart from the ability of the intelligence to deal with
Yeah.
learning the way things happen. Probably you would have read Vanshu Shukla. After he came back, one of the problems he had after this thing also, his laptop he simply left. It fell down. Because when he was there, he got used to zero gravity. What happens is what you are holding, if you leave, it is still there. It doesn't fall on its own. Now his system got used to it for
Used to that.
20 days. Now when he came back,
Unlearning.
his system is still thinking he can leave it wherever it is. So he left his laptop like that. It came back. Desire is to overcome a perception that America is not behind Russia. America wants to go ahead of Russia. So they were ready to do reconnaissance, or you want to go to a place, a new place, you want to know what that place
Yeah, yeah.
is. So we have the best resolution images taken. That's where Chandrayaan 2 images are being used for even.
So these are all shared among
Some things are shared. Again, up to something you share something. It's like give and take.
Right.
If you are ready to give me something, I'll give you
I'll
something.
give you something.
See, our problem was this only. Chandrayaan 2, we did not get the kind of data that was really required. So we identified an area which was 500 meter by 500 meter.
Okay.
Now you see what is the problem. You are orbiting moon at a height of about 300 kilometers, 30 kilometers when it is lowest.
Documents have been revealed by CIA and NASA that many psychic operations were done at the time of Cold War by lots of third eye agents which were doing remote viewing, clairvoyance, and through that extrasensory perception they used to visit Jupiter, Moon, and they revealed the rings also, and those things were very awkward because at that time science didn't believe that Jupiter has rings. But after discoveries, after technological advancement, whatever those psychic revealed, all things were proved. And many of such documents, CI official documents, which have been classified now, just before 1 year,
Declassified.
declassified by Trump. In that those documents, it has been revealed by the same person that extraterrestrial beings and such type of colonies are being seen in Moon and other planets also. So, what's your takeaway?
No, on moon, at least from all the data we have gathered, see, we have seen moon practically multiple times in different sensors, visible, infrared, near infrared, etc. At least we have not come across any such this thing. So many times, what also happens is lot of these things are sensationalization. Also, some things are say like what I said. We have got data of their gadgets which is left behind. We have our images which can show that it is there. Now, if for example somebody is trying to tell there were building, there were these kinds of thing which keeps coming in YouTube versions, etc., etc. If you see, at least we have got data with something like 28, 20 centimeter resolution images. Up to that kind of resolution we have got. So within this thing, we are not seeing anything. That's what I can say. But again, like one of the key points is what science and technology keeps achieving is step by step process. We have reached today where we have reached. But then if what we have done today, if we were talking about a century back, none of this would have been accepted by general people. But a lot of people knew such things are possible. So that is where the ability of human mind or human
Consciousness.
system,
Yes.
what it can do and how it operates, becomes an acceptable reality when technology or science demonstrates it. Until such time, it may not be accepted. So, in fact, that is one of the dialogue which we keep having. So, in trying to tell, I am also trying to figure out in a way. See, when we are building these machines and all that, we are designing them. So, they are all limited by the designs what we have built. So, normally, what happens? Human system is actually operating by virtue of its five sensors. Each of us are endowed with five sensors. Anything that we come to know of this world for a normal person is on the basis of these five inputs. Now we also have our own in karmendriyas using which this platform can do functions. But we have one intelligence which is actually doing the task of taking this sensory data and running this system. So now the way I'm trying to bring analogy is a robot has basically five elements. It has got sensors, whatever mechanism you are putting for taking input, you have built some mechanism for doing function. Suppose I take a simple washing machine. There is a switch, then there is a processor which decides once you start at what rate it should spin, when it should draw water, when it should draw detergent. This whole thing is a process stored in one memory. So there is a controller, there is an actuator, there are some input mechanism. So in a sense, robot has input element, actuator, controller, and memory. And many times when we build the machine is limited by the designs we do. See, if I have put a feature, only that much it can do because actuator capacity is not beyond that. Robot doesn't know what it is doing. It simply reproduces the commands. So if the robot is required to perform beyond its design limit, it will fail. As a designer, I don't want it to fail. So I build a fail-safe design. That means when it is trying to do something beyond its design limit, I will say, don't perform that function. So for that, I'll build some more features. For example, sensing, I'm lifting an object. Originally, the robot simply went there, lifted it. It is designed for 500 grams, but the object was 5 kg. So when it tried to lift, the arm broke or the motor burnt out. So I said, this is not a good thing for me. I built some more features which made the system realize what it is doing is within its limit or not. If it is within its design limit, perform. If it is outside, don't do it. So it simply replies back to me saying, this is beyond the design limit, I am not doing. So I am preserving it. I am not letting it destroy itself or becoming effective. So this is another memory where all such instructions. That means it has got basically five elements: sensors, actuators, controller, one memory for external action, another memory for self-preservation, self-protection. Now, can we visualize these five elements within ourselves? Is there a one-to-one match? Obviously, we realize we are all endowed with five Gnanendriyas. We have five Karmendriyas. We have one controller. One memory which we keep filling on the basis of our own journey in life from the time we start our life in this world. As a child, when we enter, all this thing is present in this platform. There is an intelligence which is taking care of it. By virtue of our own experience, the intelligence is trying to evolve. It keeps learning, mimicking what is happening around. And it also has, so one memory it keeps on building and uses it in subsequent usage. Now, one memory we have inherited by birth. Now, what is that inherited by birth? What all it contains, and how the intelligence uses it for operating is where a lot of dialogue, which probably I also have to understand from the way human system operates, etc. So I'm trying to bring in this analogy to say we are also like highly evolved robotic systems where our see today human being try to create in the external world overcome the limitations of both the sensors and actuators. See, for example, our eye can see only during sunlight originally, but today what all gadgets we have built to show you what is happening in infrared. You saw bats, you made sonars, radars. That means looking at nature, you tried to mimic what is happening, created gadgets to overcome the limitations of what this platform is doing and give it more and more knowledge, experience. That means, in a way, the intelligence which is taking care of this is all the time trying to look around and make sense out of it and translate it into a gadget and then make that gadget available. So, all the machines we have built, you can imagine like that. So, like I was telling, our eye can see only invisible light. Today you have X-rays like that you have done. Similarly, you look at legs. We can walk few kilometers an hour, step by step, generation after generation. If you look at science and technology journey, it is only this journey of how people have moved from one level to another level. Today we have reached a stage where this gadget, what we are seeing, what is this gadget doing? If you visualize in the same environment, this gadget is able to pick up information specifically meant for you, decode, decrypt, show you as audio video. Now, if my earlier statement I want to correlate, what is the concept which humans realize is happening, which resulted in this gadget becoming a reality? Today, I am making a statement saying that nothing in this world has been created by humans, concept of which does not exist in nature.
Hmm.
That means this gadget also has become a reality because some people were actually witnessing something in nature which is enabling humans to interact with nature beyond the five senses. Maybe Atindriya Gnana. Now, this Atindriya Gnana also, if it's a normal,
Extrasensory.
yeah,
Extrasensory
extrasensory,
perception.
this is with respect to our five sensors, which normally is operating. Now, the intelligence is using these five sensors and trying to evolve its own perception, interpretation. Now, here again, you will appreciate as a child started its journey. See, why did I learn Kannada, for example? Why somebody is in Gujarat will learn Gujarati? If we were in Germany, we would have learned German. Is it simply because the intelligence was listening to this sound? People around were on that sound doing some action. So the intelligence went on writing its own rules of interpretation. So everybody calls this paper, so it also said this is paper, this is water. That,
I have one more question, sir. Because I am also researching in the field of consciousness, basically. So I went to one of the documentary, which is very authentic, and in that documentary it was shown that US, especially NASA and CIA, are working on how to connect with extraterrestrial beings. So there is one agency named as Sky Watcher. So what they are doing, they are having two type of technology. One is psionic. Psionic means the person with his psychic abilities, he is able to connect with those extraterrestrial beings and UFOs also. And everything is being data oriented. It has been documented, it has been shown to the government also. So one is psionic, second is technological. Through some sounds and through some gadgets, they are able to connect with those UFOs. And it has been shown also that that agency is an official agency too, and lots of other private agencies are coming into this field, and they are trying to explore that how those UFOs are coming. As previously the famous physicist David Bohm, he also told that the universe is holographic. So we doesn't need to travel from one point to other point. We just can do quantum entanglement. Uh, it is not a linear line. We can just merge these 2 points. So many of those scientists, even in US, who are working in anti-gravity field and lots of other technology, they are believing that universe is holographic, and that is how those spaceships are traveling. So many of the evidences are available also. They are working very aggressively on this field. So is our institution ISRO is doing any such work on this field?
No, as far as ISRO is concerned, our problem is resources, first and fundamental thing. So if you were to appreciate all the money the government has spent from our inception till now, you add up accounting for the value of the money, it adds up to less than a fraction of whatever America says it is spending officially. Like all that experiments, what you're talking about, that is all beyond this. But our problem is, anyway, we are constrained by resources and we have to demonstrate certain activities, etc. So we are not getting into any of such activities per se. But then, like question you are posing, if I were to look at, the way I would look at it is, how is the intelligence which is operating in you perceiving this world, and is that does that intelligence has ability to look at beyond this platform? So now that is where the question comes. That's what I was trying to refer to this also when I said. That means if this gadget became a reality, it is because, like you say, there are people who are doing maybe transactions like that. Some of them decided, okay, let's also build gadgets. The first wireless thing, etc., telepathy, all this type of thing. If you say, there are probably, even if you say a mother is said to be capable of knowing about the child's some parameters, even when the child is not within the vicinity of her five senses. Now, how it happens? Again, now if you see what is PET or what is MRI, there also, by shining some electromagnetic radiation, you are able to build a sensor which, when it interacts with the cell, it is telling whether the cell is malignant, benign. That is purely by signal processing in a non-intrusive manner, you are able to get information. So that means if the human system also can generate signals, anyway, we know that like a black body, when you are generating all wavelengths. Now, can you also generate specific wavelengths? And if your specific wavelength I am tuned to receive, will I be able to receive like this gadget is doing? Now, this gadget present here in America or even moon, we are able to do communication. Now, same way, can intelligence also do such communication? That means you have a system which is intrinsically present in you, which if you put in the necessary effort of activating it, this is where we realize the real problem of humans. Is just knowing something adequate for you to make it a reality? You know something. Just knowing, is it adequate to make it a reality? Unless you put in the dedicated effort required for translating that knowing through the whole steps, it will not become a reality. Like bird was flying. bird is flying, but how much effort it took for humans to create a machine which is doing like that. Today drones you have done big, but still the concept originated from seeing. So that means, like what you are saying, if the human intelligence also has an ability to do such transaction outside, then translating it into reality is going through the steps. See, earlier classical physics or never talked about observer and observed effect. How the,
Particles.
how the observer is impacting the observed. Whereas all the traditional knowledge systems here is making that statement. But now quantum physics is slowly trying to make them bring it to that. Now today quantum, that means when you start learning more and more into the science, windows are opening. These windows are now showing you certain things which people like you, for example, by some effort, human system may have an ability to do. That ability, how much of it is retained and how much of it is brought into reality, is again an effort which is performed by each individual from the time the child enters this world. Now the child comes to this world with some inherited information system. That inherited information, according to the way I'm looking at it, carries all the information from origin of life till this platform came to this world, from that chain, whatever life chain I have come through. Similarly, yourself, etc. That means every child carries a source of information which is present in it, but how much of it actually gets utilized is determined by the intelligence which is operating there. Now, is there a pilot within this system which is outside the platform? If the pilot is different from the platform, now what is that pilot? How is the pilot trying to operate this platform? So for that also, I have simple analogy to give. See, you have traveled in a plane, let's say. Plane, you are sitting and observing. Pilot need not do anything. Still, plane can go from Bangalore to Delhi. Why? Because you have built a system called autopilot. What is autopilot as a system? As per science and technology, what we will tell. Plane is also a system which has sensors for taking at what height it is going, what location it is, what is the speed, what is the temperature, whole lot of sensor. It has actuator, engine, rudder, flap, etc. One controller. Now those who created the autopilot has put all the data in one memory. So sensor, actuator, controller, memory is built to perform a specific function without the involvement of the pilot. So it can deliver, take feedback and operate. So same way, human system also can bring in a whole lot of activity into an autopilot mode where there is no need for the pilot to do anything. For example, when I learned cycling, when I am driving, many times I realize I've come from my school to home without realizing actually I have done the traverse. Yeah, that means pilot and autopilot. So autopilot system by practice, it has made the complete. When the sensory input comes, it knows when to change the handle, when to change the wheel, when to apply brake, when to pedal. All that it is doing by its own autopilot mechanism. At that time, pilot is not required to do anything. Pilot is thinking of what is waiting for me at home, etc. etc. That means this system also can be saved as a pilot and a platform. Platform consists of all this: intelligence, sensors, actuator, and two types of memory. And then, like in our other design, this platform also has an ability to evolve its actuators. Because from a child, if you look at a child which decides, I want to become a 100-meter runner, it will go through a process of training itself so that certain actuators perform differently in it, and it can run faster 100 meter in 9.3 seconds. Somebody else wants to become, let's say, a tennis player, like that. If you see, that means his own actuators also, the system has an ability to evolve by changing. Whereas machines we build, our actuators are limiting. While we can build software to take the maximum use of it, we cannot make the actuator outperform our design. Whereas this system has been designed in such a way that from child till when we exit this place, there is an opportunity to grow and perish. That means till it grows, even the actuators can be enhanced in ability. So that's where sadhana and all this what you are talking about is all about this platform's intelligence trying to now I'm treating intelligence as part of the system. Pilot is outside this. Now there also if I want I give an example like this. Now, you take this mobile. Can I say all that the mobile is doing in this world is pleasing him? This mobile is does a capability is trying to please that identity. In the same way, is this system also trying to please the identity we have taken that I'm born in this family, I'm this group, I'm this nation, Indian, etc. That means this platform is designed to please the identity we have taken. But a pilot probably can do many things. But pilot is also not fully aware of this system. So is this the what you are talking about? The ignorance that a pilot doesn't know what is a platform. Platform doesn't know what is a pilot. And this ignorance is what is causing the problem. And how to overcome this ignorance? Again, this is where the real tragedy is. Just knowledge is not good enough. Just knowing that you can change your identity, you can de-identify yourself is not sufficient. To bring it into practice, you have to put the struggle. So the human life struggle, is it this?
It's a very interesting point. So most of the time we discuss on such human intelligence, body, even the mind from a distance view.
Yeah, this is where
Without any prejudice of caste, color, creed, geography, whatever codes we are given with, whatever colors we are planted with, whatever borders we have created in the mind, we open them. Then we find the true peace and we understand actually who am I, and we find the peaceful existence within us.
yeah, that's where in this analogy what I'm trying to ask is the same thing. That means the process of de-identifying that I'm not this, I'm beyond this.
So we are together. हो गया मैदान
So beyond that, that means de-identifying is the pilot is not limited in this sense. Now the question starts arising. If the pilot is not the platform, anyway, pilot is not the platform, by this example also we can do. But how does the pilot get trapped in this system? Is the pilot trapped until this platform survives? See, in this case, I gave a dialogue where I am looking for is I am making a statement. The controller which is running this actually evolves the entire process of generating response in this system by virtue of its own experience. By its own experience. That means it is trying to make sense of what is happening. In that process, it is writing the rules of its operation. That means, like when said, this is what, this is table, this is water, etc., etc. All again, because when the child entered this world, it is a complete blank thing. It has got only one inherited information system which will allow that platform to do certain minimum function. Like when we get a mobile from factory, it has a default setting. Now when you make changes in the setting, you can make the mobile perform differently. Here also, concept has come from here to there. I am using it reverse just for analogy. But otherwise, somebody is realizing this. So they have created step by step, like what you are saying. Now, what is the limit? What is the ability of that intelligence? Now, even that intelligence, does it have some primary design features? If that design feature were not there, would this platform have evolved the way it has evolved? This is where probably you are also familiar with this concept. Pashu, when you say, Pashu, when you say, what are you actually trying to? It's a life form whose potentiality to evolve is constrained. Pash is a limit. When you say Pashu, the name, root word of Sanskrit, Pash, if you say Pashyati, all that you can get back. But Pashu is supposed to be a life form which has a limited possibility. Whereas this life form, if it has got infinite possibility of evolving, and if that infinite possibility of evolution does not become a reality in a system by virtue of its own experience of what it starts, how it moves, if it is getting constrained in writing its rules of operation, its prejudices, etc., and if it has not learnt a way of correcting it, making new learns overcome the earlier prejudice learning, are we bound by our prejudices? Is that a problem again? This is again the problem. So in this context, again, if you look at, if this life has that infinite possibility of evolution, what is that possibility? In that possibility is the ability of the intelligence to connect with the external world beyond the five senses. Is, for example, many practices that we yogic or even saints or people like you, many of the practices, the way I try to give analogies like this. I have built a computer system, a real-time system. What does a real-time system do? Why do I call it real-time system? Whenever it gets a trigger, it stops everything else and gives the highest priority to ensure that what this trigger demands, system does and survives. That means that's why it's a real-time system. A real-time trigger came. With this trigger, what it was doing, because it is harmful to it, it stopped everything else and did. So that means that's why it's a real-time system. So otherwise, the system is getting a lot of trigger inputs. Now it has decided everything else it should suppress. It should deal with only this trigger. So same way can we think of the intelligence which is operating this system through all our five sensory inputs. It is getting all kinds of triggers, inputs it is getting. Now those who have learned or practiced process of prioritizing these trigger handling determines how this platform responds. That means the pilot has written rules of its operation in such a way and converted into a practice. Just telling one is not sufficient. Like we said, knowing is never adequate. What is knowing has to be brought into action. If that is there, that is where sadhana, etc. is coming. This is the relentless effort. Now, if that effort is done, if the intelligence you are able to take this platform to a level where it is devoid of responding to all triggers, then it can sense whatever is present in this universe in a way very different from normal. See, when we build hardware also, one of our problem is any detection system we build, detection system will work only when input signal is more than the noise which is present within. So we make sure that our noise level in the detector keeps coming down. So for that many times we cool it, we take down to cryogenic temperatures. All that we are trying to do is its own noise present is being brought to a level so low that whatever signal present in the surrounding, that small signal I am able to pick up. So same way is your system also, because of all the noise that is happening. System is bound by all that. You started prioritizing and started controlling those things. It's almost like blocking. Then you are allowing one finer sensing system to be able to respond, because now your noise level has come down so much. When you say like a ripple-less surface. That means even the smallest of small thing, if it falls in that also, that generates a response in you. So to reach that case,
Hey, what do
I
you
think so. We
I'll just take some.
Ah,
So I'm
And
saying,
AI stands for Atomic Intelligence.
yeah, what I was trying to tell is, asli intelligence which is there in you is being converted into.
Like, so in that time, he was able to know that many of the children were having dreams regarding their past life. So from where those dreams came, it was from their subconscious mind. So first is the possibility that dreams comes from our past life. Second is the possibilities that you might get hint of future through your dreams, through signs, indication, so that you need to decipher. So in the dreams, the subconscious mind shows you the pathway where you would be going.
So in my analogy, I'm again trying to describe human system as a robot.
Yes, sir.
What I'm trying to say is, the intelligence which is operating actually creates, based on the sensory data, a perception. That's why when you say प्रत्यक्ष हो तो भी प्रमाणित करो, because your perception is not reality. A lot of experiments show, psychologists show you a picture, what you read or what he reads. From that, while something may be common, something will be different. It is because the intelligence is writing rules of its interpretation. Based on that, it is interpreting. Now I come back to the point I am trying to say. Can we say that dream is nothing but the ability of the intelligence which is operating in you to show you an audio video when all your sensory inputs are dormant? You get the point I'm trying to say. That means the intelligence routinely, when we are awake, is converting the sensory data into an experiential perception in you by doing something with it. It is exactly the same process it does when even the sensory inputs are dormant. In which case, how does it generate any video, audio? Now, for that also, I keep giving this kind of example. You see whether it makes sense to you. First, I ask a question: what's a drama? We'll say drama is nothing but an activity where a director picks a story, wants to convey some message to audience. He makes it happen through stage and actors. So drama is a process, a director conveying message to audience, making it happen through actors and stage, based on a story and what he concocted of that. Now you go to a cinema, basically same. There also only the manner in which the projection is happening to the audience is different. It is much recorded, played back, etc. But here also, director conveying a message to the audience, and he is doing it. Technology is different, but process is same. Now you come to a video game. What is happening in a video game? We are sitting in front of a screen, maybe small or big. There is a trigger device in our hand, maybe a steering wheel, joystick, keyboard. Based on the trigger we generate, the scene shown to us in this display system, audio, video, keeps changing. How does it change? The trigger goes to a system. In the system, some data is stored in the memory, which has been put by the person who created the video game. He has put all the data there. When the trigger goes, the processor picks the data, creates at that instant an audio video and displays it to you. Now you see, from drama to cinema to video game, in everything there is a director, there is a story. Now the way audio video is getting displayed is changing, but otherwise everywhere same thing. Now you come to human system. If you say your controller or your intelligence is showing you an audio video when all your sensory inputs are dormant, that means when you are sleeping, the director which is showing this, he was doing it all the time when you are awake. Now, when you are sleeping, what is the source of information using which it is giving you that audio video experience? So, one thing you can say is it has stored its life experience in one memory. Maybe he'll pick it up from there and give you an audio video experience. In which case, human dream is nothing but the ability of the intelligence which is running the human system to give you an audio video experience when all the sensory inputs are dormant. Now the other question comes. That means, is your dream nothing but a mix and match of your life experience? Majority of the time, that is what is the truth. But it could be something else also. Now, what is that possibility? Now, the controller has access to hereditary memory. Now, if it has got atindriya gnana like telepathy, etc., it has access to some information stored outside. That means your intelligence can also pick data from there and give you that experience. Now you see all that what is there, future, past, whatever is there. That is from there. But from the hereditary information also it can do. Now why it happens in some individuals and not in others, maybe a whole lot of other theories and all that we have to get into. But purely as a analogy of science and this thing, if you see, I am seeing this human system is perfectly capable of giving us audio video experience when our sensory inputs are dormant. And even for that, if I were to explain it purely as a science and technology, see, we build a system. We want the system to be ready for performing its activity whenever it is called for action. When we are awake, our intelligence has to convert all this data, what we are getting, into a perception. That means within us it is doing a lot of work. When we are sleeping, is it simply trying it out and validating itself so that when it is required to operate in real awakened state, it is ready for performing? That means simply as a calibration and validation thing, it is performing. Is that the reason why it simply randomly picks up from the memory and operates? So this is the other explanation for dream. But in principle, it could be simply the ability of the intelligence to show you some information through audio video method, whatever it has access. Now the question like what you are asking, parapsychology, etc., or information stored outside, does it have access? Now those people who have energized that mechanism of picking up data from outside the five sensors, to them all this is accessible and it can show them. Now, for example, when you say even benzene, person who found that benzene structure, no? That hexagon,
Yes.
he is
Even
supposed to-
Ramanujan.
yeah, Ramanujan story,
That's
or
it.
Vivekananda, for example,
Vivekananda.
getting from experience from Ramakrishna.
Shakuntala Devi.
Yeah. So that means intelligence can pick up from outside and then give you that experience. So in way of looking at it, it all is a possibility. Now what happens in an individual probably depends a whole lot on that pilot and the platform. How the pilot is trying to understand. If the pilot keeps demanding, do this for me, do this for me, maybe the platform does. If the pilot takes a route, "अरे बाबा ठीक है ये हो गया," then this will get into default mode. And default mode is what we routinely run. But if the desire is strong enough, I want to make it happen, keep persisting, then the platform does everything in its ability to deliver that demand. This is where sadhana comes. And the pilot is demanding from this platform, do this, do this, do this.
Manifestation, attraction.
Manifestation. No, manifestation is another very different aspect if you look at. Here, you are making this platform do something. Now, if you look at pure manifestation, the way it is talked about, is it something beyond this, what the platform does? You are trying to make the universe itself perform something by your desire to make it happen.
So we have done our PhD research
Yeah.
in the field of doctrine of gods in Jainism,
Hmm.
a critical study
Hmm.
wherein we critically analyze, do gods, goddesses, celestial beings, do they exist?
Hmm.
And therein we find a very interesting fact about a sophisticated biological structure
Hmm.
which is different from the human biology.
Hmm.
Today, SETI, the different extraterrestrial research programs run by various organizations looking forward for water or air or atmospheric conditions suitable for some sort of life. maybe it's amoeba, totally different biological structure which can resist in high pressures, different temperatures, altitudes, and mainly its body structure is very very different and it is non-cellular life.
Mm-hmm.
To my understanding, based on the comparative study with the modern science,
Okay.
it looks like non-cellular, so it's not based on hydrocarbons or oxygen or water requirements. So if we are looking for water for life, if water is there, so life is there. So it is right.
Yeah.
If the water is there, the life, the possibility of life is very close. But even without water, the life can exist. And therein the concept comes of Vaikriya Sharir. There's a protean body. Protean.
Okay.
So protean body, so which has the ability to transform its form also. And they are the launching pads, their locations, and their cosmographical locations are given. Interestingly, recently there were discoveries about in that they can make 21 rounds of the whole solar system. So that's the speed of that deviator. Yeah? And they travel with that speed for 6 months. Then also they are unable to cross through that black hole, and some also succeed in it. But they are able to cross the black hole. Therein, it's not like on the event horizon it will collapse or all that thing. They are able to surpass it also, but they feel very agitated, very distorted, and this kind of body. So water molecules creating a black hole, earth body creating a black hole. In modern science, as I have read, I am a science student also. I did my 12th science, and then I got into the spiritual science. But therein we have studied like it's about the collapse of the big massive star, and it comes through reactions and all. So we would love to have insights on that. Do you believe in person, or how you look into this phenomena? How is it possible, and how we can scientifically explore?
Okay.
And the third very interesting dimension is about electromagnetic waves. There is an incident where the first and the second heaven gods are there, and they have a dispute, land dispute kind of thing over there. And the third domain of heaven, therein they get a message. There is an electromagnetic vibration, or it's not written electromagnetic in the scriptures, of course. It's written about vibration. They feel that on the throne, they feel the vibration, and through the psychic power, they are able to see what's happening there. And they just give a message from there, and and they get just okay, release the tensions of the border and everything, and it's settled. So it's not about the story what it is in reality or not. We're not going to discuss on that. But interesting is the science about like sound waves, electromagnetic waves. Are these electromagnetic waves that we can see, which were able to transmute, communicate, or what we see?
If you look at electromagnetic radiation itself, if you see, basically what you are saying is that it's a play of between electric field and magnetic field. That means if an fluctuating electric field creates magnetic field, fluctuating magnetic field creates electric field. That's where any radiation which is there, light, etc., they're all part of the electromagnetic radiation itself. And one of the things like in sound, you require a medium for tremors. Whereas in electromagnetic radiation, no medium is required. That means even if there is nothing, the wave can propagate and can go, that kind of thing that is there. Now, there again, the question that is being now asked is, for example, photon. When a photon is traveling so many light years, etc., etc., is it really traveling or is it only an interpretation? That means it's only a mathematical definition of saying that if you want to explain all that we have got, you have to attribute this speed to it, this speed to thing. Otherwise, if you see again a surface which is, let's say, still, now you drop a stone there, wave propagates. Water has not moved from here to there, but the wave has propagated. If you take a still water itself, you drop a stone there, you see circular patterns moving.
True.
What you dropped here,
The ripple effect.
yeah, the ripple effect. The water which was present here has not moved anywhere, but the ripple moved. So now, if electromagnetic radiation is also that kind of a waveform, then what is actually making it move?
Ether.
Yeah, now again comes back to ether came and went. Now it is coming back in a very different perspective. So everything what science is trying to do when you are asking about water and the way, you are only trying to validate it with a certain experiential form in which you can conduct experiment and prove. What so far the science has understood is there are so many things which science cannot explain today, but because it cannot explain today, at least now it is learning to tell. I do not deny it.
Neither accept.
Yeah, I do not deny it, but at the same time, I'm not comfortable accepting it.
That's
I'll
a
keep
better stand
conducting.
to take, no? Instead of say denying it.
Yeah. So no, this denial part comes purely because again, ego of the system.
Ego of the system. Correct.
See, I want to believe that I'm more capable, more this thing, etc.
Initially, Einstein also denied of quantum physics.
Yeah, that's what
Lots
I'm
of
saying.
scientists denied of quantum physics. But
Not
now
only
they are-
that, see, for example, today what you are seeing, what you are experiencing, many of this information in principle was talked about ages back also.
consciousness was also denied.
Yeah, today,
but
for
because
example-
of quantum physics,
Yeah.
now many of the scientists are going towards consciousness.
Yes. So that's where now if you see this gadget, now you are able to see what it is doing, how it became a reality. Today I can use it as an example to convince anybody that outside your physical body you can send and receive information. Probably many would not have agreed such a thing earlier. But today you see MRI, what is MRI? What is PET scan? Everything, that means through science and technology, as you are able to keep building, you are proving more and more of the basis of information. That is a fundamental difference between, let's say, whatever system that existed. Knowledge is never adequate to demonstrate. Where if you are asking everything to be demonstrated, you say bring it into reality. So that's where those who are capable of, for example, parapsychology, etc., etc.
Repeatability can't be
Yeah,
done.
there the problem is, can you prove this every time,
Repeat.
repetitive time?
So it's more of a subjective reality, not be
No,
able to
it's
show it in the objective
not
level
sub-
and also repeatability. Yes.
Yeah, that's where
A
what the
replication.
experiment is trying to, science is trying to ask is, okay, can you demonstrate again and again?
I included this thing
Hmm.
also. Here.
Hmm.
So I've given the 8 reasons also why
Okay.
replication can't be possible.
Hmm. Yeah, that's correct. No, that's where as you keep learning more and more about the system, now you are trying to build it into reality. So today, if you see, as our understanding keeps becoming better and better, every new feature is getting installed in that. So if that is the argument, then how far it will reach? Obviously, many things you are able to make it do is faster in time response, because this is a biological system. Biological system has a response time, whereas you can build certain things which can do faster than this response time, and it can also handle simultaneously many more variables. So you are building more and more complicated programs, but still you have not found a way of how this system is able to deal with this universe. Whether it, like whatever your question you're asking, does this system has access to the universe? The way I'm seeing is, when this was built, internet was built, what is the fundamental concept of internet? What is the triggering mechanism for internet building? Was it not connectivity among people, those who are capable of connecting remotely, their knowledge getting shared, and that knowledge helping in some way, doing for the good of society, whatever it is. So that means that concept was known. That concept was made into reality with internet. Same way, your ability to send and receive information through telepathy, etc., is brought into reality using this. So as the gadgets become more and more capable, that means you are building, like what we see, this is happening. So we SIM was brought. Now I have to find a different explanation because now physical SIM is not needed. eSIM is possible.
listen.
That means you don't have to insert a physical SIM. It's the same way when earlier people were talking about through Brahmarandra something enters the body at some point in time. And then it remains in the body till it leaves. It's the soul or whatever you call it. That's one of the arguments. No? Through Brahmarandra something enters the body. So if the pilot is entering the platform, is the pilot trapped in the platform till this platform perishes? It has chosen for some reason. Why and how is another thought process, another domain. But it has chosen, but having chosen, this platform again by virtue of its production history may be limited, maybe have defects also. Bird defects may be there. So pilot finds out that this platform is not capable of doing what it wants to do in this platform. So it has to wait for this platform to perish and then move on. Now the question that you are asking, I want to come to Punarjanma and this thing. In this analogy, I can visualize what this platform remembers from the hereditary. That is very different from what the pilot is doing. What is the pilot's ability to store information and retrieve it when it transcends platforms? And if it stores, where is it storing? How does it retrieve? That is when this question of Punarjanma, this thing, many master, many lives come. See, otherwise, in this analogy,
You have read that book?
I have read that. No, I have also read a lot of these psychology books, etc. Because one of the things I am trying to do is this exploration, trying to find an exploration of how this platform is operating. And then, again, one of the things I have
You have read all his books?
Which one?
Uh, uh, Many lives, many masters.
Many lives, many
Same
masters.
soul, many bodies.
Yeah, that
Only the love is real.
Yeah, those books I have read.
Okay, all the books. Great.
And also the whole series of transactional analysis. I'm okay or okay.
Okay.
Games people play, scripts people live, that kind of thing.
I am unaware of
reader.
Yeah, it's to be. Recently, I came across one very interesting book. Probably you will also find it interesting, particularly in this. This is a brief history of intelligence, written by one Max Bennett,
Next Bennett.
where he traces
Sumitji.
which will be particularly you'll find it interesting because at one compilation, whole lot of things is there in that, and it also gives us a very good insight into the way intelligence is operating in human system, how sensors are being processed, sensory data getting processed, etc., that kind of thing. Now coming back to the question you are posing, two issues are there according to me. One is also talking about holography and projection. Now holography and projection also, and the other thing is vibration. So also one, it was said, everything in this universe is supposed to be vibration.
There is one concept also, sir. Morphic resonance by Sheldrick Rupert.
Yeah.
So he has proved the same thing that everything is interlinked. Parasparopagram jivana.
Yeah.
Each and every living and each and everything of the cosmos is interconnected. So each and every communication go instantaneous at instantaneous speed, as we see in
That's
quantum
what-
entanglement.
No, that's where there is also this contact theory of perception. Contact theory of perception is supposed to be instantaneous. Contact
Yes.
theory of perception is supposed to be that instantaneous.
Yes.
Whereas all our this thing, we are saying light travels at the speed of light itself, 3 lakh kilometer per second.
Yes.
So that is where a lot of problems also.
Lots of China has also proved the field of by this thing. China has done a research of teleportation. So just a particle is there on Earth, and in one particle is in the space. So when they rotated one particle, it the other
Quantum
particle.
entanglement thing,
Yes,
that is
yes,
there.
yes. But in instantaneous speed.
No, there also, of course, if you really look at
Particle
it,
and anti-particle.
Anti-particle.
Yeah.
Clockwise, anti-clockwise.
yeah, that is the electron positron type of
Yes,
thing.
yes, yes.
Yeah. No, here the real conceptual understanding problem is while all this is said, no, that entanglement thing is there. Now the particle on which you are doing the observation and the particle which is elsewhere, they are actually not in that sense even scientifically same particle, same pair. Now how did in the original place go there? That there is no answer. But there is a way of trying to demonstrate the experiment. It's a train of particles and then a group behaves in some way and a corresponding group, whatever is happening on the other side. Anyway, there are many problems. Now coming back to that question of vibration thing, see human sensing also, light is anyway vibration, electromagnetic radiation, it's a thing. Sound is known to be vibration. Earlier they said smell, our detection of smell was happening on the basis of a molecular size. That means based on the one molecule, looking at the size of the other molecule, it was getting the smell. But then they demonstrated that by changing hydrogen to deuterium, it is not the size that mattered, it is a bond vibration present which was getting detected. That means coming back to the fundamental
Vibration.
thing, everything is vibration.
Oh, then at some point in time, even smell can be transmitted from here.
It's actually no.
If it is
There was a
There
very-
is
Like
a
sound and light
Stanford,
is possible.
a Stanford professor did study on autistic students. So they were not able to communicate with their parents or people around. So what they did, they tried to make them learn how to connect telepathically. So now each and every autistic person is communicating with everyone telepathically, especially their parents, and it was been proved.
Yeah.
It is termed as telepathy tapes.
And
So
not only that, in fact, even this stammering and pronunciation problem can also be cured by practicing some sound generation from the system. So there also probably there is one Sanskrit scholar who does this kind of a treatment for children who has stammering problem. See again, if you see that sound, Sanskrit sound origin, etc., he talks about the language as a language of the soul. That kind. The vowel, like Pashu we were talking about, no? Now what is Pashu? Pashu is supposed to be by a thing, a life form which has a constrained evolution capability. It is not, it cannot evolve with infinite potential. Whereas human systems are supposed to be having that infinite possibility of growing. So that's where when a human performs only in a limited way, he is linked to Pashu behavior. Now Pashupati, when you say, again the dialogue etc. is very different. But the point here was how the sound generated from the body. See when you say vowels for example, vowels are all supposed to be simply continuous flow of the air from your body. When you are doing that, there is no interruption. Without interruption, these sounds get originated. Now, the moment you start interrupting it some way, some other words, letters starts coming.
Consonants.
Consonant, ka ka ga ga na, cha cha ja ja na. If you say, your tongue touches the at different places. Finally, when you come to papa baba ma, lips have to touch. That means the way sound originated from the body and exiting, on that basis, this Varnamala has come.
Right.
So, like that, also.
There are 8 different places for the origins of different
Yeah.
words.
So, this is also another thing. And then, how you practice speaking or generating this sound can also cure many things in the system.
yes,
That is where a lot of even memory, etc., all that kind of
Yes,
synchronizing the vibration.
Yeah.
Mantra also comes.
Yeah, that's what. It's a actually repetition of some particular sounds which you are creating.
And many of the scientists also believe that what is these is the imbalance in vibration of the cells is disease. This mantras and whatever Sanskrit we try to speak,
Yeah.
it aligns, it synchronizes the cells
Yeah.
vibration.
That's where they were also saying earlier, for each child, what name is given to the child actually is not a simple thing. Only those who are supposed to be wise and knowledgeable they'll carry the child in hand. Then they will realize what sound will reverberate in that body.
Hmm.
So that sound, every time you call that person by that name, that sound
True.
gives all the cells some kind of a resonant energy. That's how names were being given, is what is said. But anyway, all that is lost with time is another issue.
Ah. Today funny names or small names.
Yeah,
Ease
means it
of
has come to
naming it.
how the society looks at the world, it changes that
Ah. A changing perception.
perceptions. No, that is where what happens to the child initially is so important, because every child has an intelligence which is given the task of running that platform. It is given the task of two things: mimic what is happening around you and evolve yourself, protect this life at any cost. With those two rules, it is operating. And then with that, many things can be understood. And then if you also talk about the memory which it is inherited, child prodigy, you can explain. Because nothing, what is child prodigy? Controller is simply taking from the inherited memory and operating its actuators. If it is reciting some shlokas or whatever it is simply picking up from its inherited data set. Now you are asking what hologram and holographic effect. Now if you come to this perception, what is the perception we are talking now finally? That means your intelligence ability to give you an experience of seeing something and hearing something. This is an experience within you. How is it happening? There is some mechanism with your intelligence has found of operating. When all these sensory inputs came, it is doing that activity within you and giving you that experience. And we also realize today that that experience is not reality. There are experiments to show. For example, there is one place in Koppam where they have tried to demonstrate like this. You enter that place, at a distance, you see Dhoni holding a cricket bat as an image. You go very close. There is only one bat at one place. Some distance behind, there is a framework. Some distance behind, there is a face. When you see from distance, you are being given an impression that you are seeing a person holding a cricket bat. But reality was not that. That is where when earlier people were telling, Pratyaksh ho to bhi pramanit karo. Because many times you can be fooled. Your intelligence actually plays tricks on you.
They are all like different quantums, but looks like continuum.
So it plays tricks on you to the extent, probably you'll see when you are reading, you will read a word which is not existing here.
Hmm.
Many times you would have experienced also.
Yes, yes.
So what is happening?
Your mind brings
Your controller is creating whole lot of things. In fact, it is simulating. This is a very beautiful example. Earlier for these forts, no, and people were building forts to prevent attacks from the opponent things. They steps, they'll build uneven steps. Now you just think about it. Why is the steps uneven? When you are walking, your system starts calibrating and starts anticipating when the next step is. So now to deliberately fool that fellow, step is put at a very different thing. He will stumble. The moment he stumbles, he attacks. So this kind of knowledge that the human system does all this simulation and prepares you for future action is all known at very different levels. Many of them have been translated into some action for protection, perseverance, etc. But many are not aware. That's the thing. So finally, in the end, if you are really looking at if what is our ability to understand how this system is operating, and then what is the complexity of this, and then how much of it we are able to bring it into reality, and then at this level, how much prepared are we? This is where the
Meditation.
yeah, I'll be more than happy to experience. See, this is one of the things I say. knowing is never adequate.
Yes.
So you have to make sadhana.
Experiencing it.
We are working on a program named Mission Peace.
Mm.
It's a journey of walking and connecting the two continents
Mm.
from Asia to Europe,
Mm.
all throughout the 25,000 kilometers, touching near 25 countries, and spending near 7 years in abroad, in overseas. So this is a journey, an unprecedented one, and we two monks are
Planning to
privileged to
Okay.
get an opportunity to do the same, a
Okay.
historic one, with the blessings of our Acharya Shri,
Mm.
who has blessed us both
Okay.
for this journey.
When are you starting?
So it's under plan,
Mm.
and
This is the route which
we are planning to initiate by the year ending, based on the approval, seeing the geopolitical situations and war zones and all. And as it's a land route,
Mm.
so we need multiple permissions as well. So it's processing.
Exploring.
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 Exploration of
Exploring inside as well as outside world.
Yeah.
Both together.
And
No.
so it's important, like walking miles and spreading smiles.
Mm.
It's a single line motto,
Okay.
very easy, and
This would be the route.
Mm.
This one.
probably we'll moving through Nepal, China.
It would be for 7 to 10 years,
Hmm.
most probably. And we would
Total
cover,
duration is
yes, 25,000 plus kilometers. And it would include around 25 plus countries.
That is what he will.
So he is going for pilot project.
recon.
He is going in
He's for
Kazakhstan.
recon.
Yes,
Recon.
Recon.
We
So-
will be going to this route,
Hmm.
mainly this Russian and Kazakhstan, this Central Asian and
So he would be covering on bicycle, and without money he would be going.
Yeah.
It's the main
in
thing.
fact, we were talking about that. See, I've also come across people who have
Uh,
traveled in the country without any penny in the
without
pocket,
the time.
simply going, experiencing,
Hmm.
and then going through the various places, and they talk about the kind of experience they get and the kind of reception they get.
Hmm.
Actually, world is phenomenal.
Even people gave money to him, he didn't take money,
Yeah.
any money from them. So this is about the past life.
Okay.
So we also made.
Now, in your analogy of past life,
Uh,
now between this pilot and the platform, do you have any?
no, you have
Linkage?
given the perfect example.
No,
Perfect example.
Yeah, what I wanted to ask is,
Yeah.
do you attribute Purnarla Janma to the pilot's experience or the platform's experience? That is the question.
Pilot experience.
And then where does the pilot store information?
So
Because-
pilots store information at the soul level, and that soul level information gets imprinted at the hardware level, hardware also, which is termed as cellular memory. So science has proved cellular memory
Yeah,
also.
that I agree. Now, in the
Yes.
platform, like I said, when in the system, your experience keeps getting stored.
Yes.
But the what you have inherited from that platform, I mean the
Yes.
chain,
Mm.
doesn't contain the pilot's history.
Mm.
Because what is the platform carrying
Mm.
is only the chain of its own existence.
Mm.
When the parents came, what I'm trying to visualize is
Yes,
like this.
yes, yes.
See, as a child, I enter this world. How did I enter? I came through my mother's womb. That means single cell got attached to the placenta.
Mm.
Through this period, under the control of mother's control system, this cell evolved into a full-fledged life form. So whatever is stored in this child is what has happened during this period on what was carried by that cell.
Mm.
Now that cell, if you trace its history, you go to its parent.
Mm.
That means egg and sperm from the parent body.
Mm.
When that got generated, something was written by that platform.
Mm.
So you go one step back, parent's parent, then you will reach to origin of life in this chain.
Mm.
But this chain is a very limited chain in the universe.
Mm.
And if this chain is not necessary to contain the information of the pilot,
Mm.
if we think the pilot is something outside this body which has entered, and if the pilot is a witness, pilot was not present up to some point of formation of this. At some time it might have entered this,
Hmm.
but then where is the pilot storing its own information set? See, like today when we talk about cloud here, this fellow can store that. So similarly, is the pilot storing something in the universe, and then later when it enters another platform, draw it from there, and then run it in that system. That's the question I'm having.
So interestingly,
So,
there is a very good answer in Jain treatises. That is the concept of Karma Shri.
Hmm.
There is a karmic body,
Hmm.
which is subtle level body, which is carried forward along with the pilot from one life form to another life form to the next life form
Till all the
till it releases,
Yeah.
vanishes all
The
the
nine
karma.
seconds.
Yeah, no, that's where I'm trying to
And
understand.
that is a very, very different, subtle technology which is non-quantizable. Matlab, it is not, it's not measurable.
not matter.
Yeah, understood.
Because
See, I'm
it
only.
is subtle most layer.
Yeah, no, I understand that part. What I'm only trying to do is finally everything, if it is information. Now, when you are saying what is a seed, seed is something which is carrying all the information about when it grows, etc., etc. So here also, if the so-called pilot, whatever the consciousness or Atma, whatever we call, unless it is able to store its whatever information in some place and then retrieve it in the current explanation of science and technology, I'm having a difficulty.
Yeah, that's
Understand?
what-
But otherwise, see, for rest of the thing, I'm able to find an explanation that whatever is happening to the platforms and your behavior tendency equivalent to your heritage, grandfather, grandmother, etc., is all coming from this platform. But
So what you are talking about now, I have written one chapter here.
okay,
So it is known as Akashic field or cosmic Wi-Fi.
okay.
So in that field, I have tried to explain that where is the information being stored.
Mm.
So yes, this is the one.
Mm.
So I have connected with Jainism
Yeah.
also the concept
Akashic
of
record. So
with,
this is
have you
equivalent-
known?
Yeah,
Have you heard
Akashic
about it?
records,
No.
I'm aware.
Yes.
No, that's where.
It can be connected with 0 point field also.
Yeah, okay.
Many of the scientists are also working on the same.
No, that's where it means the pilot can some way put some data somewhere and then later resume it when it enters another platform. So in which case, what are those? That means already that mechanism the pilot has. But is the pilot limited by the platform it has taken? Suppose that platform has some difficulty. Is the pilot constrained in retrieving the information?
Yes,
Hmm.
it has constraints.
Yeah.
It has constraint.
But then if the pilot is actually determining the platform it is taking, why is it taking such a platform? Is it ignorant of the platform's capabilities?
So it is not that he is determining the platform, but the
He's
platform is
choosing.
decided by his needs.
Dates
No, I agree.
See,
There
these
also,
are
and karmic
determining-
bondages.
yeah, I understood.
And he can also like be wise like you and will be in the position to design his destiny as well. But not all men are wise equally.
Yeah.
So
I'm also trying to debate on this concept only, in trying to find out. That means if the pilot is the one which is actually going and doing, like this Akashic records or universe, some way it can store, that is understandable. So it will store there. But then it has to retrieve it for its next journey continuation. So in between platforms, whatever state it is, how it stays, those are the other questions that will keep cropping. But then if we accept that the pilot can store information, how it stores and how it retrieves is all within that pilot. Then I am assuming that it is also has the ability to choose the platform. Now, why it chooses particular thing like what you are saying, will be
Karmic.
bound by some rules
Yes.
of its own operation. Those rules will be again
Universal laws.
some laws. So in that case, it also does not know how the platform will evolve fully. That means pilot, though it wants to do certain things, is unable to do in a given platform because the platform has limitation, because it is a product of one outcome. And in that process, if that platform had some shortcomings, there is no way that shortcoming can be overcome by the platform pilot.
And
So,
it is told that for the pilot to evolve to the ultimate level, the best platform is human level.
that
And
is
we are-
You are in the light.
so now we are talking within human platforms itself. One turn.
So you might get many of your spiritual questions,
Yeah.
answers from this book.
No, I'll definitely
so you please.
go through this fully.
So it has Jainism also, science also, and various researchers, case
Yeah.
studies,
Mm.
whoever done lots
Parapsychology.
regarding parapsychology or consciousness
Yes.
or such researches. So I have tried to cite also those researches.
Recently, I came across one explanation. They were talking about electron. They are measuring the properties of electron. Every time they have measured, it's exactly identical to some 13th decimal. So why is it happening like that? So one explanation that somebody is trying to give is, it is the same electron, which is simply moving all around. So whenever you measure, it is the same thing you are measuring. And then, then other thing he talks about in that is that electrons, if it is moving forward in time, it's electron. If it is retracing its path, it becomes positron. So that means when the same thing, when it has gone and come back and interacted, it vanishes. That means it's positron and electron are actually same thing moving in different time directions. So now that means again, if you, then they are talking about in this, all particles, fundamental particles have the same nature. So it means it is the same particle which is is talking about 10 to the power 80 number. Mind boggling.
And this I hope you have seen.
Yeah, that's what I
Ah,
said. No, actually, like I said, I was supposed to come for that function.
This was our late Munish
okay.
Munish Shri Mahendra Kumar Swami, and we resided with him since our initiation.
Okay.
And he was very scientific minded, so we got the heritage from him. He was a great scholar also at the same time.
This is where another argument I'm trying to tell is, why are we saying science is different from other things? Is there any human activity which does not require special knowledge and skill? If we are trying to say arts is different, commerce is different, etc., etc., but every individual has such a scientific system, but by virtue of our experience, we suppress that. See, I give example like this. A child is asking all kinds of questions. Till we have answers for that, whoever comes to our house will tell, hey, look at this child, it's asked a brilliant question. But the moment the question it is asking, we are not able to answer, we don't want to show our ignorance. We start suppressing it. You are a chatterbox, you don't know anything, you are this, you are that. Now that intelligence in that child is trying to learn. It is thinking, why get into this headache of being reprimanded? Let me not ask questions.
He is getting suppressed.
So it suppresses its ability to be curious and learn things. So the way intelligence evolves in a particular child is simply because of the way it gets exposure to its surrounding, and depending on what exposure it gets, it keeps moving. While it can keep changing at any point in time, how it has written its initial rules of operation depends on the prejudices it gets into. That's where all the psychologists' problem are. So they will ask some question. Based on the answers you give to that question, they will determine what is the behavior characteristics of it. What does it mean? It only means that intelligence chose to respond in a particular fashion. Later, it has not changed itself. So it's simply sticking to that based on this.
So this is on the subconscious mind. So we have tried to merge neuroplasticity,
Okay.
epigenetics field, all this field also in this subject.
Now, in terms of this particular thing, till what time is the intelligence capable of reinventing its usage based on pilot's demand? Is it even intelligence also? Is there a limit to its growth? Hardware wise, there is a limit, we understand. But hardware limit we don't touch.
Hmm.
The intelligence, the way we operate the intelligence hardware, we are nowhere near touching that.
Hmm.
But even there, is there a limitation to that?
Hmm.
Does That's where when I talk about, for example, human body, at some point you are telling it's a growing body, then it reaches the peak, then it declines. So by the time you call it a sharira, you are already saying that it is in the declining phase. Deha, like that, if you say, one is evolving from child up to that, it is able to modify its own actuators and capability. But then beyond some point, it starts plateauing and then keeps coming down.
अच्छा 10 बजे आपको मतलब निकलना रहेगा तो अपने
10 बजे
चलते हैं
जाना है, हाँ।
हाँ, तो फिर अपने निकलते हैं ना तो दिस इज फॉर यू सर
Okay.
so you can also manage your emotions so this is also a great book and he was our 10th guru
Okay.
today he is 11th guru
Okay.
he is our 10th guru
11th Guru is there now.
हाँ you would be meeting
Great.
very
So
soon
you will be meeting the 11th Guru, His Holiness Acharya
Maharaj
Maharaj
Chairman
Ji,
Shri
and we are the disciples of him.
Hmm.
And
Very great to
also
meet
the successor of him.
Yuvacharya.
Yuacharya
Yuacharya.
Mahavir you would
So
have a
tomorrow
program
also
also I
Our
think.
first
Okay.
program is with him.
Okay.
With
हाँ,
him.
School 8 o'clock.
हाँ.
Yuvacharya Mahavir Muniji. So, very well wishes for your happiest journey, enriching experiences, and we will love to you soon back in Delhi at your convenience,
Sure.
as and when convenient.
And
So
we
your
would
journey
also like
when
to
is it
have
starting?
it would be starting at the end of this year and how his
Oh,
pilot
end of
project
this
goes
year.
on.
Okay.
It
So your
depends on
time
him
Telling
also.
ISRO can track through satellite.
Yeah.
That will be